Over the weekend, after Trump said that they are withdrawing aid, suspending aid from coming to Nigeria. When the genocide was first talked about at the Senate by Ted Cruz, a lot of Nigerians were supporting it. But the moment Trump now came out to say we'll be suspending aid to Nigeria, a lot of Nigerians over the weekend went on social media and said they do not support that. There's nothing like that happening. We're changing. The role of misinformation, and social media and fueling wrong perceptions sometimes gives credence to, allegations like that. So how can we begin to turn the trend around?
Thank you very much. Of course, this issue had become such a multidimensional issue. I was actually enjoying the narration by by Dr. Hamisu, looking at the historical context and all that. But for me, where I grew, the culture that contextualized my being had actually made it very difficult for me to frame issues around Christian Muslim. That's the truth. When issues come to the public space, some of us are trained to be blind, religious blind about it. And I'm an active Christian, So when this issue came up, understanding the whole concept around neocolonialism and all that, as Dr. Amisi was trying to contextualize, I had to try again to research into what appropriate motivations would have triggered this. One of my findings was that there had been a continuous, huge advocacy and lobby against Nigeria, on this issue of Christian versus Muslim, and that since 2009 there had been an heavy traffic on advocacy, targeted at the U.S. government, to place Nigeria on the CPC list. But what interests me is that governments since 2009, had resisted such. The American government had resisted such. And we have had an Obama ATS government, and of course, when Trump came, we thought we were seeing a thaw, in the relationship between Nigeria and America, especially when it came to arms acquisition. When during that first engagement, he decided to approve what an Obama Democratic government, refused us, the sale of arms, particularly what's the name of this Tucano, the Tucano jets. And just after that, after the approval and the acquisition processes that started, then he came out with the CPC thing, And of course, we know that there are processes before a president. A president is not even allowed by the process of the International Foreign Religious Act, Foreign Religious Freedom Act, to make that pronouncement. The pronouncement was actually invested in the Secretary of State, But in that instance, that December 2020, it was the president, President Trump, that made that declaration. But it turned out that they will now have a Democrat come into government just some months after, and under 1 year, Nigeria was removed out of that list. Now, some 4 years down the line, the same process had been reenacted. So my immediate reaction is that it may not be a United States of America government's tendency or disposition. This, to me, is particularly a Trump disposition. And the extension may be, perhaps, it's a Republican Party disposition, because we are experiencing this 2 times within 5 years, under the same personality who was president between 2016 and 2020, and who is now president between 23 and, of course, the next 3 years in the U.S. So for me, that is principally a Trump thing. And again, as properly contextualized too, it has been established that we have this dramatic-minded person administering the United States of America. And it's not just dramatic, it could also be deceptive in the way it goes about things. So whereas we have had, some of us, especially those of us who grew up in the academics, understood the fact that you can have leadership at that highest level that can actually deploy sovereign blackmail. And I think what we are experiencing now falls into that.
Sovereign blackmail?
Yes. Okay. We have seen the president of America come out to say he's going to impose 100% tariff, 250% tariffs, and then all he needed was negotiation, actually, to reduce, the tariff and all that. That is not how. That's not how you have diplomatic relationships. You don't have diplomatic relationship by bullying. You do not set a target, but increase the bar of that target, waiting for the other party to come and negotiate for a downward movement of that target. So it's telling us a whole story, a whole narration about this person.